October 19, 2025, 9:30 a.m. The Louvre just opened. 30,000 people a day flood in. Pier lids shining, Seines quiet. Then, holy shit, a white Boker truck rolls up like it's supposed to be there. 4 dudes in yellow vests, faces eaten by balaclavas. Crane goes up, glass explodes, alarms scream. 7 minutes. 88 million euros gone. Empress Eugenie's crown hits the street, crack like a head on the guillotine. No shots, no hostages. Vanished. France was humiliated.
Calixar presents.
A hunt is underway for thieves after priceless jewels were stolen from one of the world's most famous museums, the Louvre in Paris. Well, France's interior ministers described the jewellery, taken during a 7-minute heist, as priceless. It's understood that a large extendable ladder, which was installed temporarily for building work, was used. The top of the ladder touches a balcony, which appears to be how the 3 thieves accessed one of the upper floors. Well, this was the scene inside the museum as tourists were ushered out of the building after the gang got inside after the museum had opened this morning.
Rewind to 1661. Louis XIV, the Sun King, orders the Galerie des Palons built, a golden shrine to Apollo, god of light. But beneath the frescoes, the last breaths of French royalty. The French crown jewels, what survived the 1789 revolution's guillotines. The crown of Louis XV, 140 carats of diamonds, rubies, sapphires, arrogance in solid form. The Hortensia diamond, peach pink fire from Brazil's slave mines. Emeralds from Marie Louise, Napoleon's second wife, his desperate peace offering after exile. Sapphires for Queen's long turn to dust. The Louvre has always been a thief's playground. August 21st, 1911, Vincenzo Perugia, a former employee, hides overnight, walks out with the Mona Lisa under his coat. Recovered 2 years later in Italy. November 1998, Le Chemin de Sèvres by Camille Corot vanishes. Still missing. Director Pierre Rosenberg warns, security is fragile.
It's not actually that difficult to steal from a museum because where else can you go get within a few inches, just anybody who buys a ticket, of priceless historical artworks? You can't go into Fort Knox and get your nose 2 inches away from the gold. So museums have to allow access. They can't have armed guards breathing down your neck. The real difficulty when you steal something from display in a museum is making any money from it. And a lot of people who get caught having stolen something from a museum, painting, artwork, get arrested right away as soon as they try and sell it, because you can't, sell the Mona Lisa without the art dealer saying, I'm gonna go call the police.
Fast forward to 2025. Attendance explodes, 10 million visitors a year, but staff slashed. Unions strike on October 19, 2025, the same day, screaming destruction of security jobs. A 2023 Paris police audit recommended 47 upgrades, only 12 implemented by October 2025, and the hits keep coming. Starting with November 2024 at the Cognac-J Museum, where 2 paintings disappeared, followed by the Hieron Museum also in November 2024, with relics vanishing into thin air. Then on September 14, 2025, at the Adrien Dubouchet Museum with porcelain shards stolen amid chaos. And just 2 days later, on September 16, 2025, at the National Museum of Natural History, where 600,000 euros in gold bars were melted in a night. This isn't random, it's a plague. Europe's vaults are cracking. January 2025, Drents Museum, Netherlands, artifacts flee. November 19, 2019, Dresden Green Vault, 1 billion euros in jewels melted in the night. France? Bleeding sapphire tears. Louvre director Laurence Decars begged for locks in 2024, but the ghosts, they slip through.
October 19th, 2025, 9 a.m. The Seine is still asleep. Mist clings like a funeral veil. A white moving truck, stolen 2 days prior in Saint-Denis, ghosts up to the Quai François Mitterrand. No plates, no panic. 4 demons. 2 on black Yamaha scooters idling 50 meters back, engines purring like predators. 2 more in high-vis vests, construction camouflage. Tools, disc cutter, blowtorch, gasoline can, walkie-talkies, gloves, a blanket. Perfect. 9:27 a.m. They park bold, directly under the Balcon de Charles IX, the south-facing balcony where kings once plotted beheadings. The Boker furniture lift extends. Whirr! A mechanical serpent coiling 20 feet into the air. Platform sways. Balaclavas swallow faces. Oh God, no one's stopping them.
Merci. Les individus sont en scooter, ils vont quitter.
Disc cutter screams. Metal kisses glass. Shatter. Alarms erupt like banshees at 9:30 a.m. sharp. Guards freeze in the Apollo Gallery. Power tools roar, back off or you're next. No guns, just the promise of ruin.
This is what we might know about how the 7-minute burglary at Paris's iconic museum took place in broad daylight. A vehicle parked audaciously along the Seine-facing side of the Louvre reveals some of the tools police are investigating. Here you can see the furniture elevator the robbers used to gain access to the building. The vehicle was left behind for unknown reasons. This tool appears to be an angle grinder that could have been used to cut around glass or other materials housing the jewelry display cabinets. And at another point, we see a police officer bag up a blowtorch that may have been used. All of this potential evidence as police try to uncover how such an audacious robbery may have occurred. Paris police have opened an investigation for aggravated theft by an organized gang and criminal conspiracy to commit a felony.
9:31 a.m. They drop inside. 4 minutes of pure hell. 2 high-security glass cases smashed like eggshells. Hands move like shadows. Sapphire tiara grabbed. Necklace yanked. Emeralds snatched. 9 pieces in a black duffel. But the crown of Empress Eugenie? Too proud, too wide. They force it through a 20-centimeter slit. Crack. It tumbles down the lift shaft, hits the cobblestones at 9:35 a.m. Bang! Shattered like a queen's spine. A second item drops, identity sealed by prosecutors. 9:37 a.m. They descend. Scooters ignite. Vroom! The crew flees along the Seine banks, hits Boulevard Périphérique at 9:40 a.m., then A6 southbound by 9:45 a.m. They torch the lift basket. Flames lick up like hellfire, but a Louvre staffer douses it with a fire extinguisher at 9:38 a.m.
Dramatic new footage has emerged of Sunday morning's heist here at the Louvre Museum. You can see what appears to be the robbers on that mechanical ladder heading back down towards the truck before we now know they made their getaway on those scooters carrying those 8 pieces of jewelry that they'd managed to take. One, of course, was left behind, the crown of Empress Eugenie, the wife of Napoleon III. The rest they managed to get away with. That latest video, the newest element that investigators will be working with to try and figure out how this operation unfolded, who the robbers might have been, and perhaps most crucially, where the jewels are now. We've been hearing also in the last 24 hours from the director of the Louvre Museum, who's spoken to some of the security lapses involved, the fact that there were no exterior cameras pointed towards that window, that balcony through which the robbers were able to gain access to the Louvre Museum on Sunday morning. Security now being beefed up, of course, at French museums. For now, the investigators, though, have yet to have that big breakthrough moment of trying to figure out who the robbers are or where indeed they might be now.
8 minutes total. Gone. No blood, just echoes and the taste of fear. Why these pieces? They skipped the Regent Diamond, 51 million euro, Louis XV's ego, skipped the Sancy, skipped the Hortensia, like they had a shopping list. Pros or puppets of something darker? A helmet left behind, DNA inside, a whisper in the fog. They're still out there.
The thieves didn't just steal gold, they ripped 8 pieces of France's soul from the Galerie d'Apollon. Each jewel is a ghost with a story, a curse, a price. Let's walk the bloodline, one by one, as the shadows swallow them whole. First, the sapphire set, 3 pieces forged for queens who never escaped their fate. The tiara, worn by Queen Maria Amalia, later Hortense de Beauharnais, Napoleon's stepdaughter.
2 arrests have been made here in France just under a week after the dramatic heist at the Louvre Museum. The Paris prosecutor's office says that 2 men were arrested on Saturday night in connection with the case, including one who'd been trying to leave the country. Prosecutors remaining very tight-lipped about the rest, but we do understand from French press reports that the 2 men are in their 30s and the one who was trying to leave the country was trying to get to Algeria. For the last week, 100 investigators have been working on the case, and the pressure was huge on authorities to make some kind of progress. More than $100 million worth of jewels were taken on Sunday morning in a 7-minute heist, including the tiaras, the necklaces, the earrings of some of the queens of 19th century France. Since then, we'd heard very little about what progress was being made. We do understand from those French press reports that it was thanks to DNA left at the scene of the crime that these arrests were made. For now, though, no word on where the jewels themselves might be.
15 million euros, blue as the eyes of drowned royalty. Then the necklace, a chain of betrayal, 10 million euros, heavy enough to choke empires. And the earrings, matching pair, 8 million euros, whispering scandals in the dark. Next, the emerald suite from Empress Marie-Louise, Napoleon's second wife, his fragile peace offering after Waterloo. The necklace, 20 million euros, poison green links to a broken vow. The earrings, 12 million euros, twin daggers of poisoned alliances.
Ces pièces sont trop connues, trop médiatisées. C'est un peu comme à l'époque où on avait volé la Joconde. Vous voyez, le voleur de l'époque s'était pas rendu compte de la dimension de son geste. Et d'ailleurs, on avait retrouvé la Joconde sous son lit. C'était totalement invendable. Les bijoux sont totalement invendables. Et au-delà même de la vente de l'objet en lui-même, si on procède à la casse des objets, c'est-à-dire on sépare les métaux précieux, les pierres précieuses, les perles, etc., toute la chaîne de responsabilité des personnes qui vont retailler les pièces, les écouler, etc., s'expose à des sanctions très graves.
Finally, Empress Eugenie's vanity in 2 final blows. Her tiara, 15 million euros. A crown for a fallen empire. The large corsage bow brooch, 8 million euros. Ribbons tied into vanity's noose. 9 pieces targeted,
one lost in the chaos. The crown of Empress Eugenie, yanked too hard on October 19, 2025, cracked on the cobblestones at 9:35 a.m., recovered damaged. A second item dropped, identity sealed in silence. Prosecutor Laure Becquo's final curse on October 21, 2025. 88 million euros in damages. But the heritage? A void no money can fill. These aren't rocks. They're revenants. Touch them, and empires crumble. The thieves? Bold or bewitched? 9:37 a.m., October 19th, 2025. Alarms hit. The museum evacuates 2,000 visitors in 12 minutes. Lockdown. Prosecutor Laure Becquo opens the case at 10:15 a.m., 60 investigators assigned. By October 20th, Interior Minister Laurent Nunez raised it to 100+ hounds. CCTV reviewed. 47 cameras along the escape route.
Intérieur du musée du Louvre.
Fameux gilet jaune.
The truck's path was traced via ANPR on A6 at 9:52 a.m. Crime scene, power tools, blowtorch, gasoline can, gloves, walkie-talkie, blanket, and the cracked crown, recovered at 9:40 a.m. A helmet was left on the balcony. DNA inside. A single hair. Traces of the damned.
They'd have done a reconnaissance, they'd have known the height, the distance, they'd have rehearsed using that equipment somewhere else. That may well give a lead to the police.
The apparent security failings have led to a furious response in France.
I know that it's impossible to completely secure all locations, but what is certain is that we have failed, since it is possible to set up a hoist in the middle of a Paris street, lift people up in a matter of minutes to steal priceless jewellery, and give France a terrible image.
Only one piece has been found. The thieves dropped this crown during their escape, which alone features more than 1,000 diamonds. The pieces may be priceless, but the stones can fetch millions. The most likely scenario now is the group that broke in through that window will seek to break apart these items of national treasure. So it is a race against time to find and save them, with the odds stacked against the authorities. There are some clues, including items left at the scene, but finding those responsible is one thing. Finding the jewellery intact is far harder.
October 25, 2025, 6 a.m., Saint-Denis. Raid. 2 suspects, both in their 30s, were arrested. One nabbed at Charles de Gaulle Airport, Terminal 2E, boarding Air Algérie flight AH1001 to Algiers, ticket bought October 20. Known to police, prior burglary convictions in 2021 and 2023. DNA match confirmed October 26. The other suspect's phone pings near the Louvre on October 18, scouting. Interpol added all 8 jewels to the stolen works of art database on October 20, 2025. Black market whispers, melted in Antwerp by October 27, or hidden in Balkan vaults. The southbound trail goes cold at Lyon by October 19, 11 a.m. 4 ghosts hunted, 2 cages. 2 are still breathing free.
October 19th, 2025. Museum shuts for the first time in decades. Reopens October 22nd, 9 a.m. Apollo Gallery sealed like a tomb. Director Laurence Descartes faces the Senate Committee on Culture on October 22nd. No external camera covered that wall. Terrible failure. Offers resignation, declined by Culture Minister Rachida Dati.
Notre faiblesse, si nous venons directement au point faible, au fond, nous n'avons pas repéré suffisamment à l'avance l'arrivée des voleurs. Les faiblesses de notre protection périmétrique sont connues et identifiées. Nous avons une infrastructure qui ne permet pas, si vous voulez, de greffer des équipements modernes et de dernière génération en matière notamment de vidéo et de détection sur une infrastructure qui ne la supporte tout simplement pas. Nous avons aussi d'importants soucis dans on peut le dire, l'implantation des postes de sécurité au sein du musée qui sont vieillissants.
October 20th, 2025. President Macron orders immediate acceleration of the Louvre New Renaissance project. 300 million euros security upgrade launched January 2025. Remaining jewels moved October 24th under an armed convoy to the Bank of France vault. 27 meters underground, 7-ton steel doors, fireproof, floodproof. France stares into the mirror. A giant, cracked from within.
October 19, 2025. Macron tweets, "Attack on our history, we'll claw it back." Nunez, "Immeasurable value, major wound." Dady on TF1, "Calm prose, 4 minutes of smash and ghost." Darmanin, "Hoist in midday Paris? Humiliation is eternal. Opponents feast." Eric Ciotti, "Governments collapse, nation threatened." Ian Brossett, "Strikes ignored, now this?" Unions, security slaughtered. Boker's viral post October 20, "Quiet as a whisper, lift and mocks the fall." BBC, NYT, Guardian, "France's crown slips. The world watches."
It's the world's most visited museum, but for now, the crowds are outside the Louvre. The star attraction, a boarded-up window, the heart of a heist so audacious it could be from a blockbuster. On Sunday morning, when the museum was open and filled with visitors, the calls began to evacuate. Most unaware that a heist of historic proportions was underway. Thieves smashing through 2 display cabinets to snatch priceless royal jewels. Amongst the stolen haul, this emerald necklace worn by Napoleon Bonaparte's wife, this tiara resplendent with pearls, and this brooch dripping in diamonds. In total, 8 items are missing.
Well, it's like the stealing of the crown jewels. It's the kings, the queens of France wore these things. Paris is a bit in shock.
The robbery began at 9:30 a.m. The target, the Gallery of Apollo. The 4 thieves used a van with a mechanical ladder to reach the window. 2 cut through the glass with a disc cutter and entered. The theft unfolded just 250 meters from the Mona Lisa.
Seven minutes, October 19, 2025. 2 caught, 6 jewels screaming in the dark. The Louvre isn't a museum, it's a warning. Your vault next? This is Calixar. Hit like, smash subscribe, turn on the bell. Next drop at midnight. Big Bro out. Stay woke.